I'm Jen Giroux, and this is episode number 47 of Still Place Like Home, where I talk with groups, small businesses, and individuals in and around our community. And today we have a special treat. We are talking with Cindy Bremer, who is the editor of the Stow and Bolton Independent newspaper. And we talk about how it got started and some of the troubles of having a newspaper business, and also ways that we can help support it to keep it going. And I hope you enjoy listening to what Cindy has to say. So thank you for meeting with us, first of all. And I'm wondering if you can just talk about how you first got started, and then we can talk about what it has become since.
Sure. Let's see. Well, it started in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the Stow paper at the time. I had been the editor for, I don't know, that started in 2000. Jean McCord was the editor for the first year or so. When she left, I took over that position, having no idea what I was doing. But that's pretty much how I've gotten through life.
It's the best.
Okay, sure. And then that we went till about, Nancy started as a writer. Don't ask me dates because it's way too long ago at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say 2005 or 6, somewhere in there. And then we ended up leaving the Stow paper, starting the Independent. Was something we had talked about doing, and I got a call from a gentleman who had been, I'd talked to him a couple of different times over letters to the editor and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually offered startup money, which was incredible. He was just a great guy. He just big, booming, voice, incredible businessman, had tons of business experience, and we had none. So it was a perfect match. And, the poor guy, he had no idea what he was getting himself into. But
I'm sure he did. That's the fun part.
Oh boy, I don't know.
So you've been doing this since you've been with the Stow Independent you started in 2007.
The Stow Independent started in 2007, April of 2007.
Yes. Okay. And so you've been the editor the entire time.
Yes.
That's a long time. That's a long time. Can you tell me what you love about the paper?
Oh, the best thing about it is feeling like I'm contributing to the community and just doing something that's actually helpful. That's just really important to me. And I actually started out in a very different career. And so it's totally different, but it's still the same aim, and just feeling like, we brought the community together, and we can hand out information and, do it in a way that is as neutral as possible, so that we're not, telling people what to do or think, but just giving them the options. Here's the information, think what you want, but here's the information, here's the facts, so that people aren't relying on rumors and
Sure. So so let's talk a little bit about, so you've merged, so now the Stow Independent has become now the Stow and Bolton Independent.
Yeah, we started the Bolton Independent in 2014. The Bolton Common had gone out of business in December of, that previous December. So it was just an opportunity, because there was so much overlap between the two communities, with the sharing a school system, and there was a lot of people that knew, there were a lot of events and groups and stuff between the two communities. So it just seemed like a really important opportunity to be able to cover Bolton as well. And then Nancy left the business end of things shortly after that, and so I ran that for a couple of years on its own, and then it just became, I realized it was becoming so overlapping that I was almost creating the same newspaper twice.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of work each week. From a from an economical perspective, it was a lot more money to have to produce two separate papers and do two separate mailings and deliveries and things
Mhm.
like that. So it just became an economic choice at one point
Yeah.
to say, you know what, I'm going to put them both together. So I promised the Bolton, community that I would maintain the Bolton Independent within the pages of the Stow Independent. So that's why you see it set up the way it is, because that
I
was
think
what I
that
had.
makes sense. I think that makes sense. It's easy to, what the information that you're getting from Bolton clearly, and then the Stow side. So I want to talk about some things in the paper some of my favorite things in the paper. Of course, the public safety report, right? I mean,
Oh,
that is
yeah.
so, and, we're not the only ones that love it. So this has been a hit on, talk shows and things like that. So I just want to read one from January 8th. A caller requested to speak with an officer regarding an incident at the ski resort. An officer informed the caller that the ski resort is in Stow, Vermont. The department was given the number. Oh my gosh.
Poor guys. And that is not the first time that people, Stow.
People think that I live in Stow, Vermont too. I mean, it's very funny. But
And then
that
you
is,
have to give them the no E. It's Stow with no E.
yeah, right.
There's no E. Please take the E off. And and my email address even is Stow Independent, and I have to say it every time.
No
STOW,
E.
no E. And then I'm
Right.
afraid somebody's gonna write down no E as part of
Yeah, it
No.
really cracked me up. But there are other things, when people go on vacation, you can bring the newspaper with you and you'll be featured. And it's just really fun. And small town, I mean, it also gives you some really good information. People selling things and local businesses supporting you by putting their ads in here. And pet of the week. I mean, it's great. I just feel like it's a really nice, like you said, honest way to report what is going on. I've loved over the fence posts that was
that was our letter to the editor column, and we just kind of came up with that name. I think Nancy did, just as a title for it. And basically the idea being that neighbor talking to neighbor, kind
yeah,
of over the fence kind of thing. And the idea also was to make sure that people weren't, what we didn't want was to have, like these big blowouts and real nasty
sure.
stuff. And the reason for that, and sometimes people say, oh, you won't publish this or whatever. And it's like, it's because if you're going to go write a letter to the editor, I mean, that's kind of a gutsy thing to do for a lot of people.
Mhm.
It's not easy to put your name out there with your opinion. So if you do that and if you have a fear that you're going to be attacked for doing that, you're not going to do it.
Mhm.
So the idea was to say, this is a safe space. That sounds so whatever, but it's a safer place to do that. Let's give us your opinion, let us know what you're thinking without being attacked by other people. And so it was just a way to, and hopefully get more people to write in. And that's one of my favorite parts, is the letters to the editor.
Yes, it's lovely. I think I commend you, because I know this is not a moneymaker. I know that it's extremely stressful every week to get this in, and people rely on this. So I want to know how we can help you as a community to keep this paper running, and to maybe have it so that you have money, that you're not scraping together every single week to get the paper out. Because I know the newspaper business is really rough.
It is. And it has been, steadily getting more difficult. And then, of course, with the pandemic, it's been a double-edged sword, actually, because the pandemic has certainly reduced the amount of advertisers. If people aren't open, they're not advertising, obviously. So that's been difficult. However, the communities really both have stepped up in terms of subscriptions. So that's been a really nice thing. I think people are, in general, been a little bit more appreciative of the paper itself.
Yeah.
It's a 50 for the year and 40 if you're a senior.
Yes. So it's interesting. As part of the closing gift, when people move to town, I will get them a subscription so they can, be introduced to it, and then, hopefully they'll continue after the year is up. But I think so you can subscribe to the Stow Independent by going to your website.
Yep. stowindependent.com, and there's a link there for subscriptions. People can make donations. There's also a donation link there. And, if you know a business in town or in the area, the general area, you go down to Hudson, you love a certain restaurant, encourage them to advertise to the other people in Stow and Bolton. There's a lot of opportunities out there where, and I've actually had several, more than one, certainly, people advertise with me because a Stow resident or a Bolton resident said, hey, this place is great. You should really advertise to, the towns, and they do. And it's been successful. So that's always really helpful. And it's amazingly helpful if people see an ad and go and, when they're going to call, for the service director, if you need a service, go look in the paper and see who's available and let them know, yeah, we saw your ad in the Independent. That really helps advertisers know that they're spending their advertising dollars wisely. So
yes,
help too.
That's great. Okay.
Other than that, somebody who wants to, just give me $1 million tax free, go for it,
Right. I'll work on that. So if anybody's out there, if you have an extra $1 million, please.
And I know there are.
So independent.
Upgrade my computer to get a camera and microphone.
Yeah, it's so appreciated, and I think that I'm so glad that you came on with this, because I think a lot of times you get the paper or you see it at the grocery store, or Russell's or something, and you pick it up. You don't think about all the effort and time that goes into this, and you've been doing this for a really long time, and I love it. And thank you very much for doing this. It's hopefully, we will. Some people, please subscribe. That will help keep this paper going.
Absolutely.